Few children, we need to sing songs if they have to eat food. Okay. So all these things, are, different for each child, and they have carried it because of heredity, the behavior of their parents. Okay. Like we can see that grandparents say the things, your father also used to behave like this. Your mother also used to behave like this, isn't it? So these things the child has incorporated from the time of birth. Okay. Uh, Moving on to gross motor skills. Gross motor skills involve large muscle activities, wherein they are really large activities, big activities for the child. Like key skills developed during infancy include control of posture and walking as well. How the child is walking and what is how the posture of the child. All these things are affected by the fine motor skills which were properly given during the pre-primary stages. Mastering a motor skill requires the infant's active efforts to coordinate several components of the skill. We come across certain activities in pre-primary stages wherein children are provided with tools as to like improve their fine motor skills and gross motor skills, isn't it? So with deliberately activities are to be planned for the children so that their fine motor and gross motor skills can be improved. Infants explore and select possible solutions to the demands of new tasks. They assemble adaptive patterns by modifying their current movement patterns. Gross motor skills improve dramatically during the childhood years. Okay. See, everything that the child is doing, okay, he is doing with the help of the reflexes or with the help of the knowledge he or she has gained through exploring. For example, you might ask one child to pick up the coffee mug which is lying in front of him. Let us take an example of myself. I am one child of the same age group, 3 years or 4 years, and Chitra ma'am is the second child. I might use my two hands to lift the coffee mug, whereas Chitra ma'am might use only one hand to pick the coffee mug, though we are of the same age. How she is able to do it with one hand, and how am I able to do it with two hands? It is because of the fine motor skills which were given earlier. Okay, so fine motor skills are the foundation for the gross motor skills. And Chitra ma'am might have seen her parent lifting with two hands. That can also be one hand. That can also be a reason. And I might have seen someone lifting it with two hands. So children in this of this particular age group, what they do is like they actually imitate the things which they are seeing with their eyes at home or at school. Okay. Gross motor skills improve dramatically during childhood years. Boys usually outperform girls in gross motor skills involving large muscle activity, which means, gross motor skills can be evidently found in boys. Okay. They might be ready to throw the things wherein girls are sitting in a shy manner. Okay. They are ready to jump wherein girls are not ready to jump. Such sort of things can be found in children. The last thing is fine motor skills involve finely tuned movements. The onset of reaching and grasping is a significant accomplishment. Fine motor skills continue to develop throughout the childhood years and by 4 years of age are much more precise. Children can use their hands as tools by middle childhood and at 10 to 12 years of age start to show fine motor skills similar to those of adults. Okay, so this is the time wherein children are growing. Okay, the growth pattern can be easily found. Slowly, it so happens that with practice and with imitation, children will be in a position to do whatever, like adults are also doing. Okay, so this was all about physical development, sensory and motor development, gross motor skills, and fine motor skills. It sounds to be a bit, theoretical, but it is very much important to understand not only as teachers, but as parents also. Many a times it's our responsibility to make the parents understand these truths. So just refer to page number 38 and 39 after the session, if possible, from NCF for school education. Moving on to 2.1.2, which is cognitive development. Till now, we have seen physical development. Can anyone tell me what all we have covered in physical development? Can anyone tell me the points that are covered in physical development? Who will tell me?
How,
Yes, Chitra ma'am.
yeah. So how the height and weight increases rapidly during infancy.
Hmm.
Then in early childhood, there is the influence of hereditary in the growth of the child and the habits and all that. Middle
Hmm.
and later childhood, it's the body is getting ready for adolescence, so the growth is a little slow. And
Hmm.
in adolescence, there is an experience of lot of changes, especially the puberty.
Hmm.
And for girls, it's 2 years before the boys.
Yes.
Then coming on to sensory and motor development. So first is like in stage one in the infancy, they develop the rolling, sitting. It's more sequential. And in gross motor skills, which involves the larger muscle activities. And here boys are like ahead of the girls because they have the grasp. Then activities are to be deliberately planned if we really want them to get a grasp and to hold or to improve their motor development, that is gross motor as well as the fine motor skills.
Hmm.
And in fine motor skills, sir, here I missed a few points.
Okay.
Probably I'll have to go back to page 38 and 39.
Yes, yes, yes. That's okay. But still, you have covered all the points, ma'am. Great. Now, let us move on to cognitive development. This time, I'm going to ask anyone whoever is here. Okay. Uh, may not be Chitra, ma'am. So please be ready with your answers. Okay. Next one is 2.1.1.2. Okay. Which is cognitive development. And here we are going to discuss how cognitive development, see, in the physical development, the domains were not specifically mentioned. As in infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescence, they are not specifically mentioned. It was merely, like rough expectations that were mentioned about physical development. But coming to cognitive development, inquirers are very much specific about what development takes place during infancy, what development takes place during early childhood and middle childhood as well as adolescence. So please note the key points over here. So let us get into cognitive development. Children construct their own cognitive worlds, their own thinking world, building mental structures to adapt to the world. They will get adapted to the world, but with the help of their own thinking. We cannot influence that directly. Let me be specific. We cannot influence it directly. They actively construct their meaning and understand. They themselves, they understand the things. Okay? It cannot be influenced again. The progression of cognitive development from infancy to adolescence can be described as below. So let us explore what cognitive development takes place in infancy. So please make a note, infancy. The infant organizes and coordinates sensory experiences such as seeing and hearing with physical movements. Okay. So here senses and physical movements are brought together. Okay. Whatever the child is sensing and with the help of physical movement based upon that the child is understanding. For example, the child is, like the same example which we have taken earlier. The child is watching a coffee mug. Okay. And how he is holding the coffee mug. Okay. All these things takes place in infancy. They quickly learn and are able to understand that things they see continue to exist, even though these things are no longer around them. For example, Ravi might have seen the coffee mug in the morning. Okay. But in the evening, the same coffee mug is not there on his table or his papa's table, but he know that tomorrow morning this coffee mug is going to come back again onto papa's table. Okay, which means they're developing and understanding that things are there, but all the things have the specific time to appear in front of their eyes. This is a small sort of understanding which the children develop. They can scan patterns actively and display a growing capacity for remembering in ways that current neuroscience is still exploring. Children can remember several ways. But how children remember these many things is still being researched by the neuroscientists. Okay. Still, we couldn't find out what is that, power which is there in the children who are from infancy period. Okay. That is allowing them to remember many things. And that's the reason even NCF and NEP are saying during this period of time, give more languages, multilingualism. Okay, wherein the child, it will be helpful for the child to remember the things. Now we have seen that in infancy, the child organizes senses with experiences of movements, and then they learn things very quickly. They have their own understanding. They can scan the patterns easily and they remember very well. Let us move on to early childhood. What cognitive development happens in early childhood? The child's mental life is becoming more expansive with experiences. Remember, experiential learning. Everything the child need to experience. Then the child's mental life will become better, expansive. He will understand many things. They have pictures in their minds about various things in the world. For example, okay, a book. There is one picture in the mind of the child. Teacher. There is one picture. What type of a teacher? Father. Okay, that's the reason we have to be very careful with the children. They imitate everything, and they are, like they're picturizing everything in their mind. Okay. Yes. And their capacity for new vocabulary and making mental pictures allows for more learning about the world and other people. They have begun to make senses of others, getting a sense of how people and things work. Okay. One more important thing is in early childhood, okay, they learn about world and other people. For example, who is grandpa? Who is grandma? Okay, who is uncle? Who is friend? Who is a neighbor? Who is a teacher? So they develop understanding about all the people. They also develop understanding about the world, home. What is home? School. What is school? Okay, all these things will be happening in the child will be thinking about all these things. Okay, and they will sense about people as well. Their memories can hold much more than adults give them credit for. Okay, like they have a very good memory. Children who are into early childhood, okay, they remember things very well, very well. Okay, so this is the time that we can give lots of academic inputs also, so that children will remember the things for many years. Now let us go on to middle childhood. By now, the child can think through reasons using language and ideas, understand well how people and things work around them, and give order to these things in terms of value and size. Now, this is the time wherein children will explore language. They try to use lots of vocabulary. Okay. Apart from that, there is some value for children. They understand who is important. Okay. Children of this age group, they can easily say, I love mama more, I love papa more. Okay. Depends upon their experiences, how they are being dealt with. Okay. Such sort of things. And they develop love and they develop affection for elders, especially grandparents, friends. Okay. They start seeing a value in everything. Okay. Many other things. They develop their sense of value for each and everything. Maybe few children might like the teacher a lot. Few children might be liking parents a lot. It depends from child to child. Okay. Their capacity to remember and use what they remember to do activities is growing in leaps and bounds. This is very much important. And this is because of experiential learning. Okay. Like children, whatever they are seeing, they start in middle childhood. For example, you might ask a child to just sweep the floor. Okay. They have seen mama sweeping the floor all these days. They will do the same way that their mama is doing. They try to do the activities based upon how they have observed the things that are happening in front of them earlier. They even devise ways to remember better and are able to analyze, problem solve, imagine alternatives. See, four different things. They find out ways to remember things. We don't have to teach them. They have their own style of remembering things in an easier way. Okay. They are able to analyze, which means understand with a deeper instinct. Apart from that, they come up with their own solutions for solving the problems. And also they find out alternatives. If not this, what else? Okay. So these things happen in middle childhood period of the middle childhood period. Moving on to adolescence. The adolescent individual thinks in diverse and complex ways with a growing capacity for working with ideas and logical analysis. It's very clear, isn't it? Their thoughts are always complex. Okay, they think things in such a way which even we, have a fear to think about. Like they want to do huge things. Their ideas are huge, complex ideas. Okay, and no one can stop them from thinking. They are self-influenced, self-driven. This enables them to plan, solve problems, and systematically test the solutions also, if properly guided. Okay, if properly guided, they can plan things on their own. They can address the problems which they come across in their life, and they will also come up with very good solutions for the problems. They are able to mentally look back at their own actions and evaluate, are forming a sense of themselves as different and similar to others, able to engage with ideas of right and wrong. This is the time wherein children start judging the people. I don't like him because he thinks that way. Okay, do you think he's right? And they start forming their own group of people who are like-minded. Okay, all these things happen in adolescence. That's the reason the friendship which exists in 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, these are the friends who are there for most of the period of life. It is not easy to, leave them because they are like-minded and they became friends at that particular adolescent period. Okay. And then they can be focused and flexible in their thinking and make decisions with reasoning. For every decision that an adolescent makes, there is a reason, his own reason. It might be right or wrong, but there is a reason. Okay. So these are the things about, the things, the developments, cognitive developments, which happen in the adolescent period. Now, who is going to just recapitulate the points that were told? Prasida ma'am, will you?
Good. Even I can.
Okay, Aarti ma'am, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. You talked about cognitive development, and I believe when it starts from infants, they learn by seeing and hearing. As you said, seeing, like senses and physical movements are brought together over here. They try to imitate things, they try to remember the things, they develop the understanding by what they have seen. They are very good at recognizing patterns, and as said that there is still a research is able to develop all those, how they are able to recognize so many patterns at this age. Then in the early childhood, it is basically memory becomes more expensive, lot. They learn through expressions. They make pictures in the minds. They develop sense about world. And as you said, I mean, memory is very, very good and they are able to recall and remember a lot. Then coming on to the next level, that is middle, they develop reasoning at this particular age, have ideas, they are able to express through the language, they have good vocabulary, they are able to compare on the basis of their experiences, and they have feeling, they develop the feeling of love and affection. Plus, they have their own sense of values depending upon their experiences. And as you said, capacity to remember grows in leaps and bounds. Moreover, if they are properly channelized, they can be good problem solvers. They can find alternatives. I mean, that is common in this particular stage. As adolescents, they have complex thought process, complex ideas. They need to be guided. They need to be channelized. If it is so, then they become good problem solvers. They are able to rationalize things at this particular life. They are very judgmental. They choose their friends, and sometimes these friends are for life, and they become focused and flexible and have proper reasons for whatever they come across. That's what I've understood.
Is it proper reason or can the reason be anything?
I mean, they have,
Their own
we can
reason.
say skill of reasoning. They are able to reason anything, whatever they, I mean, like if they're
They are
doing
doing.
something, they have proper reasons for that.
Okay. Is there anything which anyone wants to add to these points?
Yes, sir. That brings to say that adulthood, they have design thinking, right? That is
Yes.
what exactly it is mentioned there, right?
Yes. 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 Great. Yeah. Wonderful. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing this language development, socio-emotional development, moral development, and Panchakosha Vikasa. It's a reference that has been given in NCF. So we'll also explore what is Panchakosha Vikasa. So I hope this session is going to be fruitful. As I always repeat, here we are only summarizing the things, but do read NCF on your own as well so that you can Swadhyayam. In Sanskrit, it is said as Swadhyayam. Okay, Swadhyayam is more important. Self-reading is more important. So just try to read the NCF on your own as well. Maybe you will get to know something which we haven't discussed here. Okay, so that's all for today, teachers. It was wonderful having you all over here. Tomorrow, whoever are here, like they are supposed to, someone other than Chitra ma'am or Karpagam ma'am, someone else, I might ask someone to say what you have learned today. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.